Okay, let's talk about what I'm going to be tossing on this B&M Crappie Wizard rod right here. They say it's multi-purpose, all-purpose. In the catalog here, listed under all-purpose rods on page 11 of the B&M catalog is D. And D is the IM7 graphite all-purpose Crappie Wizard. So, here we go. First step, tried some live bait. Got some already on the live bait. I caught one little dink largemouth, like 10 casts into testing this thing out when I put some line on it. So that's pretty awesome. So I got my brand new, never even fished yet, Crappie Wizard from B&M, sent to me in the mail today. Decided I'm gonna rig it up with this hammer grub and a motor oil in green color with a chartreuse head. These are bonehead tackle sickle hook heads. They are awesome jigs, super duper sharp, super duper cool with the 3D eye on there. So this rod, this is the first time I've held it with any kind of lure on it. It feels super balanced with this reel on. It feels like it's going to catch a fish and have some great action in here. The fish are stacked up in my canal today. Out here in Yuma, Arizona fishing. They're on this gate like crazy. Let's see if we can get one here. Oh, so first cast. Casted beautifully. Kind of just jig it a little bit here. Oh, I had one in its mouth on the first cast. Oh, I just didn't think there was a fish on there. Wow, that's pretty awesome. First cast, almost caught a fish on this rod. Get it another one. It does toss this tiny little jig. I think this is a 16th ounce. It's tossing it real nice. Forgot to hit record, but I just tossed in a white jig head with the same crawler setup on there. And I'm just gonna kind of crawl it across the bottom, see if I can get their attention. There you go. There we go. Got him. All right. So, as far as the bank flipping dinks is concerned, pole is definitely capable of that. All right, there we go. So, Crappie Wizard is capable of catching small bass. First species is on the list. What I got this guy on, I cheated. You'll see.
Live worm on a jig.
Yeah, live worm on a jig. I wicked him.
That's jig nasty right there.
I hooked him wacky style. They didn't want it on the chartreuse, but they were very interested in the white jig head wacky style. I did it chartreuse jig head, what do you call it, Texas style first. They didn't like that, but as soon as I got the wacky style on there with the white jig head, they're all about it. It's a dink, but that's what's in here right now, and at least we're catching them, and it proves that the Crappie Wizard is an all-species rod or all-purpose rod at this point. It's got crappie in the title, and it'll catch bass, and it felt good. So we'll put this guy back.
Oh yeah.
All right. Besides live bait, I like to fish Berkeley maggots. I like to fish the yum or whatever they're called, the gulp. Gulp minnows. Those are awesome. Also, in this box, this is my panfish box, by the way, guys, right here. I like to fish plastics. I love curly tail grubs. We're going to run a bunch of different color curly tails there, as well as tubes and tiny spinners. Let's get that to the side. Got a box of tubes over there. I put this together just for this rod. This is tiny chatterbaits, tiny plastics, tiny beaver tails. I really like these tiny, these mini chatterbaits. They're pretty cool, so I've had some good luck on those. Also, just a few different trailers, can't go wrong with craw trailers that look like baby frogs and stuff like that. And some finesse jigs. We'll try some finesse jigging on here. So just traditional natural patterns pretty much in there, except for those chartreuse colors. Besides that, ooh, I love this box right here. This is going to be fun. This rod seems like it would have enough action that these lures right here are probably going to be hot. It's, the way that it loads up, I tested it with a crankbait, It seems like these tiny Rebel crankbaits, these everything that's really like a 1/4 ounce and below, it's going to work really well. I've also got some hand-tied flies on there for popper flies and some poppers over here, fly poppers, and various tiny little lures and stuff like that. But really, the highlight is going to be these hard baits. I'll do a whole video on that and try to get some smallmouth. I think this rod's going to be a great smallmouth rod. Besides that, I will run some drop shots and some finesse rigs. And oh, this is the wrong box. Haha. This is my bass box. Pulled out the wrong box. Here, let's see here. Oh, okay. More hard baits I'm gonna run. These are all my long minnows and stuff like that that are really around the casting range for that rod. So we'll be running quite a few like little minnows, jointed minnows, stuff like that. Various. I really like Rebel's lures, like in the smaller sizes. They seem to have great action and they're really reasonably priced. So we got minnows, we got crankbaits, we got flies and poppers and topwater stuff there. We got grubs so far. We got trout baits. They just stocked the ponds with trout. They've been stocking them. It's been freaking cold, and the reason I haven't put out any videos is the weather's been terrible. I'm from Arizona, man. I'm from Yuma, Arizona. I don't go out in the cold when it's... What is rain? Why is it wet out here? I don't understand that. Anyways, I've got a ton of trout lures here that I use and have caught fish on. My favorites, the highlight, are the Super Dupers. I freaking love Super Dupers. A ton of different spinners and spoons. My buddy KW, this is a Meps, a bumblebee or something like that. It's a rooster tail bumblebee. That thing, he caught a trout. The last time I went fishing, nobody caught anything but him, and I loaned him that lure. So, and then top it off, this last spring was this technique was killing multi-species fishing. So I'm gonna go back to it. Tiny little swim baits and spinners like that. Tiny little minnows. And you know, switch up your size and colors of the spinners there on a rig like that. Oh my gosh, you get so many different types of fish and so many sizes of fish. It's really cool. And you know, you can vary it with, see, there's another type of little tiny paddle tail, a slightly heavier, here's a couple of different versions of some slightly heavier stuff. This one's probably closer to a 1/4 ounce, and it's got a big old Colorado blade on there. And then we've got like a, oh, I just showed that one actually, yeah. So there's a few different things in there. Pretty much in that box I keep a lot of bigger spinners and, you know, just different stuff that needs to be rigged like that. But that's all gonna go in that kit. And I think that's pretty much it. I might try to bust out one of these. If the situation calls for it, I might try to bust out one of these tiny, it's like really one of the smaller sizes that they make, of lipless traps, lipless crankbaits, traps, rattle traps, or whatever you want to call them. And that's just a rattle trap box that we got there. So pretty much trying to live up to the multi-species name, I'm going to run everything from grubs and chatterbaits and moving baits and spoons, and go after a ton of species of fish. Everything from catfish and bass, both striper, largemouth, smallmouth, crappie, bluegill, red ear sunfish, and what am I forgetting? Trout, everything. There's so much stuff here in Yuma, Arizona, we're going to go after it all.